Today is Saturday.
The 27th
of November.
And today we saw...
Next to Normal.
Next to Normal. It was at the Ahmanson Theatre.
The national tour of the Broadway show.
Yes.
It was our first time seeing Next to Normal. Neither of us really knew anything about the show.
She knew a big plot twist.
I knew the plot twist. She didn't know the plot twist, for those who know the show. I only had heard a couple songs.
The famous ones.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay, so... opinion overall. It was great. The story was amazing. The songs were pretty good. Sounded very similar to each other. Talent was spectacular, and everyone
except one person
blew my mind. Our minds. They blew our minds.
I thought everyone did a spectacular job portraying either going insane or being insane or suppressing insanity or being, the reflection of insanity, which I think is a really hard thing to do.
No, it's not easy. It's not easy to be insane.
We would know. Things we liked. Oh, this is something I liked. I liked that Diana and Dan, the middle-aged people of the story, were the more important love story than Natalie and Henry, who are the 16, 17-year-olds. In rock... Broadway shows and, more modern musicals, adults are often forgotten because a lot of the fan base tends to be kids. I don't know if that's okay to say.
It's always focusing on, the teenagers,
their issues.
Exactly.
And that was in this show, but I'm glad that the adults were
the major
more
focal
important.
Point of, the love interest. The depth, it was like a play. Kind of, it had the depth of a play, and it was kind of like the musical version of August Osage County, if any of you have seen that. It was like that, the crazy parents and, the family around them, struggling to survive, There was a key point that they made, that they themselves, Diane and Dan, built the house themselves, and they were both in school for architecture, and that's where they met. But
they could not keep things from falling apart.
They couldn't keep things from falling apart.
It was great.
Brilliant.
Another thing I liked is I heard a lot about how this show has a lot of the Oedipus Rex complex, and it actually does, and I appreciated seeing that. I know from experience that most of us don't just go up and, rub on our parents when we want their attention. And, a lot of things like Diana would use the same body language when she was attracted to a doctor as she would use when her son was speaking to her and things like that. So I appreciated that. I mean, we won't get a lot into it. What we're going to move into now is the issue we had with the show. Okay, I'll get started. Okay. This being said, is we did not go into the show with any preconceived disdain for this person or anything like that. We tried to love her. But we really tried. We had a really hard time feeling okay with Alice Ripley. And... I want to start it off by saying she's an amazing actor, and she's so much presence on stage.
She really fit the role of the psychotic mother, and acting-wise, she was brilliant. It was just, what are you saying?
She has this nasal issue that when she sings, she has to sing in the back of her throat. And it sounds like she's either singing underwater or something like that. But it's like I mentioned before, it's like a rock musical. Mm-hmm. And with all of these rock modern voices, and she comes in there with this big weird belt, and honestly, I could not understand a goddamn word she said. She'd start to sing, and I'd have to stop and zone out for the remainder of the song because I could not catch a single word. She sang with this weird Liverpool accent where she would rhyme the word "I don't know" with "I'm going to goo." Which was, I couldn't...
It was strange because she had an accent when she sang, but when she was talking, she didn't have an accent at all. It was just when she sang.
Anyway, we came home and we were we have to give her another chance. We went on YouTube, we listened to the cast recording to figure out, because she won a Tony. Yeah. And there had to be something, and we thought maybe she was just having a bad night. She didn't stage door. She snuck out and took a car back to the resort, and we were like, oh, maybe, she's sick. From what we can tell... Something happened because normally she's better than this. And tonight, I didn't get a single word she said. No. And it was uncomfortable, and I felt embarrassed, and it was just... Anyway, okay, we're going to move on.
Okay, favorite parts. So at the very end, all the boys were wearing orange and all the girls were in purple. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it and I look at Bailey and I say, all the boys are wearing purple. And I didn't even get to finish. And she goes, I know! And we like flipped out because we figured it out.
It was really exciting.
It was great.
Another thing that we figured out, Gabe wears the color of the person he's trying to speak to other than his mother.
Yes.
So, like, if, if his, like, say his mom was wearing blue, but Natalie was wearing purple, Gabe was wearing purple because he was trying to talk to Natalie, but she'd ignore him. Mm-hmm. That was, interesting. I loved the last song when they're wearing orange and purple. They use the 3 levels of the stage. They set up this little pyramid, and it's like this pyramid of reality. In the bottom, Natalie's front and center because she's the most grounded and realistic person in the show. Behind her is Henry and her father Dan, who are overly optimistic versions of her. Next up was the Doctor and Diana, who, I know, I always say Alice like it's the character. Alice. The Doctor and Diana, who had skewed views on how the world would function, and at the very top was Gabe. I absolutely loved that. I saw that. I was like, great. Oh. It was... And we figured out colors, because I was trying to figure out the lighting colors. Well, just the symbolism and all the colors, because purple is everywhere in the show. After all the songs, they would always go back to purple lighting. It was like their base, and so I was like, "What is this purple? What is it?" And so then it's okay. So colors of the spectrum: blue, red, right? Yes, because they make purple. They make purple. So blue is sanity. Red is completely losing it, and so next to normal. Next to blue would be purple. In between the two. Purple. Yeah, it was cool. All of the blocking in general, great. They would mirror body movement to like reflect the parallels between 2 characters. And there was one scene where Dan and Diana were fighting on the bottom story, the mother and father, and then her daughter and her boyfriend were fighting in the next level up. And they would be like boy, boy, girl, girl, and then they would switch, so it was boy, girl. Anyway, it was great. I loved it. Overall, though, we were huge fans of the directing. We thought Michael Grafe did an amazing job. That had to be one of our favorite parts of the production. I was just hooked. Like, I wanted to find more things that he had hidden in it to reveal. I want to see it again, but I want to go when Pearl's son is understudying Diana. Well, I kind of want to go another night and see if she's improved. You can go by yourself. So overall, worth seeing. I think you should see it. It's the art direction, everything about it's just fabulous. Hot Ticks, $20. $20. Sat next to someone. I looked at their ticket. They paid $50 each for the seats to our left. I felt so bad. That always happens, though. But it was great. I think you should definitely see it. Maybe you would like Alice Ripley's voice. Maybe. Maybe you won't. Maybe you won't. Anyway, we warned you. Okay, so that is it. Goodbye.